All right. Had a pretty solid day today. I'm up pretty fat on a Top Step XFA. Going into tomorrow, going into Asia, I'm looking for this New York high to sweep out. Typically, we sweep that in Asia, and I would expect this to pop up to 4,000, potentially reject up there. But we did already pop this. If you look back when we were pushing 3,900, right? This initially gets up close to that 3,900 level, and then it has its strong rejection. Then when it comes back up here, it hits that 3,900 level, and then it rejects, and then it pushes through it during London session. So I'd expect something similar to this going into tonight. You can see the same thing on 3,800, 3,700. I think both of them are valid, so I'd look for something similar. Let's get into trade review. Hold up. Trade review. Okay. Scroll down for chat. Bro, what does this fucking mean, bro? Okay. Seeing some green. Long on GC, 400 risk, plus 1523 result. 3 to 2 to value area low. Then back to fib and previous low time frame support. Wasting $150 on a combine, trying to full port and get back to XFA since October has began. Did it rush to back to XFA? However, I believe it's somewhat destroying my brain on keeping good decisions with patience and proper. We already talked about this, Dylan. Going to risk 400 each. Okay, solid. So 2,100 of profit on Top Step / props, but seeing the number get smaller from buying accounts adds stress for some reason, even though I have room. 1,600 spent with prop, 3,700 with payouts. All my XFA, other than the first I've brought to 2K balance and had 3/4 winning days, and then take some losses and full port / tilt. Yeah, when you got to that first payout, Dylan, what did we do to get to that first payout? We put a DLL, a tight DLL, and then we just got our winning day and called it. So do that going into these next ones. Okay, this is a quick scalp. These two cons for 8 points. Is this right off open? I'm fine with the quick scalp, but being out right off open, like this is a little bit sketchy. So, there's other trades that present themselves on GC. I'm sure I'm going to see some of these. Just makes you feel like a retard seeing more red, but part of the game. Sure, a lot of similar experience. Know you get back under control. Continue doing what I know is right. Yeah. You'll be fine, Dylan. Just slow it down a bit. Milo, Asia session, VWAP, 0.5 on FIB. Saw rejection from VWAP on that 5-minute candle where my first entry is. Once price was going my way and creating that inverse fair value gap, I've marked out. Took 4 off at POC. Final TP was lower time frame highs. I don't think I like trading micros since I'm getting good at entries with small size. Then I add more and my RR goes down. So once I'm at 3K buffer, I'm sizing back up. Also, price is currently ripping as I'm timing this. Should have held a runner. Also, my stop loss was about 2.7 points. This is solid. This is really solid, Milo. I think it's fine to add micros in here. Like, when you're adding into this position, yeah, you're getting a worse entry, but you're adding on more confirmation. So your win rate, this could bump your win rate up. I would definitely hold a runner on this one. When we crack all-time highs like this, we base out, we come back down to this VWAP, and this starts to show strength. I just want to trail this more aggressively. Let this run for the highs. I would, if you're in 10, I'd trail 5 out up here, hold the other 5 for these highs, or you could trail 3 out at these highs, 3 out at these highs, and then leave 4 to continue to run. What's up, Clutch? I like this trade though, Milo. I think this is a good trade. I don't know how the management was, but I think this is a good trade, dude. Like, you got what? 29 to, yeah, like 5, anywhere from 5 to 8 points on this. On GC, that's solid, dude. My glorious milkman, I anchored the fib right for you this time. Took longs from 618. One fails. Sellers failed to push price down. A+ setup. Nice trade, Clutch. Yeah, this is solid. right at that VWAP too. This looks good, dude. This is the setups we want to be taking. You can ride this out longer. I know you're going for static RR, so if you want to leave it at static RR, I think that's appropriate. If you're looking to find consistency, just leave it at static RR. This risk, this initial risk, right, I would put it at the bottom of this candle, this big impulse candle, and then just tighten it up to this next, like, I would leave it at this big impulse. You see this small body, don't move the stop. Then you see this big body. Now I move the stop under this smaller body candle, or I can move it to where this next big impulse is. So that's how I personally manage it. You might manage it differently, but that's how I like to do it. Long GC, my best trade for this year. I came into 50-minute FVG and immediately bounced from it. Lines perfectly with 0.5, 618 fib from open. Used a bit heavier side because it was an A+ setup with 5-point stop. 20-point TP smacked. Jossie. Oh. Good shit, brother. Good shit. Hey! Yeah, that's a great fucking trade, bro. I don't know if Jossie's on here. Jossie is on here, bro. This is perfect. Perfect. GC win, long win. Okay, all of you guys got the GC gist, right? The GC, I feel like my GC analysis is kind of on point, bro. Not to hype myself up or anything. GC long win. Okay. Open pre-bullish, creating new all-time highs, so I was leaning on the long side. We stayed on small consolidation for an hour. Kept respecting value area low, so enter longs at view up. As management, I scaled around value area high of the big volume profile because I had to leave for a few minutes. If that was the case, wasn't the case, I would just trail my stop. Valid. Okay. I'm cool with the scales up here. This is also where that consolidation is. When this pushes through with strength, we can just tighten the stop. That's how I personally do it, but I think the scales are appropriate. Good management on this. The entry, maybe a little early, but I'm fine with you taking it off this retest. Like, I think this is fine. I don't really see any issues with this. I like where the stop's at. The entry, right, you're entering off that retest of VWAP after it's broken and sustained above. When it breaks and sustains above and it wicks out like this, it might dip back under. So you might see a little bit of drawdown. If you're cool with that, then run it. 13 RR, 35 points GC, GLD each base, 12 EMA. Entry off 0.5 fib, low volume defense, strong wick. TP was 980 but got trailed out. 11K 9. Good boy. Good boy, Uranus. Took it on multiple accounts. I already know this one's in there. I already know this one's member trade of the day. There might be another one in here. I'll see. Y'all were fucking cooking. This is what I like to see, though. I don't have to alert. I just give my analysis, and you guys take your own trades. I prefer you guys to be self-sufficient traders. 8R bottom tick demo. Asia very bullish. Put a limit order on bottom of shelf and woke up to this. Closed for 32-ish points. Very solid trade, Zeke. Yeah, so I'm assuming you took the same trade as me. You got stopped, re-entered. Great entry. Good management. Like, I mean, this stop's solid. You have that lower VWAP band. It could dip down there and wick you out, but I think that's appropriate. Pushed up, didn't put a TP on it. I think it's fine. This is a good trade, though. London IB, low volume node, plus 32, plus 0.5. London VWAP, value or high, upper band. Enter on strong wick, but then came down. Feel like that I should wait for 0.5 or 618. Stop me. Third pick, second trade re-entered. Sold one Conhe in value or high near all-time high. Stopped in profit, but shitty trade. Okay, let's look at this. So we have a lower time frame fib. I would personally take the fib from back here. Back in here, this most recent pivot, because this has shown me that it's valid. Okay, what time is this at? This is after London sets. Okay, let's look at this. So London, right? London, I think the ideal trade in here is when this is coming back above this upper VWAP band. It looks like it rejects hard, and then it gets bought back up above. I can enter on this candle, risk this candle. I think that's valid, and just shoot for the Asia high, because I know that sweeps most of the time. Then this, I think you entered right here. I'm fine with this entry, but this might not necessarily push the highs. We're extended in this range. When this starts to fail here, right? I just want to see strength through this move. I don't want to see this start to fail and then consolidate. I just want to see strength through it. And when this dips back down to this upper band and it bounces and then immediately fails again, I would be out of that. And then when this comes back lower, right? When I see this wick here, I can set my stop to the IV low and look for this to head back up towards those highs. But I would take this off before these previous highs, because this hasn't shown that it's going to push these highs yet. Then it comes back down to VWAP and then it rips through those highs. I get the trade idea. I think it's just the management might have killed you. Yeah. Okay, you scaled here. I think that's appropriate scale. It was just out of steam. Buyers are out of steam. Good entry on this. Yeah. Okay, so we were up 252. We scaled one out. So what? We're getting $75. And then where's our stop? So we're getting $100. How much were we risking? 63. So you closed above 1 hour. I think that's still decent. My top step TV trade? No, I haven't. Third and last one for London IB, stop break even. Okay. This, I'm glad you got stop break even on this. Yeah, because this is making lower highs. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and then this runs down towards that IV low. I'm glad you got stop break even on this, but yeah, this looks like it's a channel to the downside. It's continuing to fail to bounce and make new highs. Took a small 4.5 point scalp. Framing still bullish by a strong reaction. Bounce out POC. Took it off because didn't strong break through that upper band. I think that's a valid quick scalp, especially if you're tight with your risk. You enter here. You set your stop below that. Once that pops, you set your stop to break even pretty quick. If you're scalping, if you guys are scalping, I think you should move your stop to break even pretty fucking quick. Especially once you see momentum. That pops, I'd bring my stop up here. Just see how much I can get out of it. If, you know, it's rejecting that upper VWAP band, then I want to be out of it. Also on this London trade, right here, we dip below the upper VWAP band. We dip back above it, and it doesn't look like there's strength above this. So that can be another indication. We're making lower highs. We're not holding above the upper VWAP band as much as we previously were. So this is showing some weakness in here. I'm cool with this trade, Ziki. I like the quick scalp. I like the idea. The framing's good. I don't know how the management was, but it looks solid to me. First trade on a combine in months after backtesting with this new strat from the milkman. Took longs on MGC with 7 cons risking 280 to make 500. Took a trade from overnight anchored VWAP. Saw reaction when price came to this level. It bounced and ran to TP. First trade of the day. 1 for 1, A+ setup. I later went 1 and 6 on NQ, and now I'm down 500. Bro, what happened? Clutch, what happened here? We were taking like 3 trades a day. You went to that whore NQ, bro. You went over to the whore, the fucking whore named NQ. And if I go and look at the NQ chart, bro, I know it's gonna be some fucking dog shit. Look at this. What is this? There's nothing here till 11. Once this sustains this lower VWAP, and then it broke the IB low, but it's not showing any downside continuation. This starts to stall out up here. I might take a short here. I might try a short, but if I get stopped on this, this looks like it's just gonna fucking do a double break. Yeah, fucking disgusting. I was talking to Jaren about it. He's like, bro, fuck NQ. Fuck that little whore. That little whore named NQ. NASDAQ 100. That shit is so fucking shit. I got sick of it too. That's why I switched to GC. Now I'm only trading GC. My XFA is blocked from trading NQ. I can't even touch it if I wanted to. You're down 500. Not the worst. Could be worse, right? You need what, one good day to recover your drawdown, then you're back to where you started. Okay. Long on demo, low volume node, 3 to 2 fib, failed selling, VWAP tap, took it off because buyers didn't push the market up and CVD was high. Had an idea to enter again on Combine, but I didn't. Risk 360 to make 520. I think that's fine to not have the highest RR. This is like what, 1.5? I think that's valid. I think it's fine. Most people are going for like the standard is like 2R is what most people go for. 1.5 is still valid if your win rate's high. I think this trade's good, Adrian. You got out at the proper timing. When it comes down and does that retest again, maybe you try it again if you see something different on Bookmap. But I think you analyzed the situation properly. You got out when you should have. I stayed in it. I should have probably gotten out and waited for New York Open. Took the same trade as Baron today. I entered with one mini only, so I had a 7-point stop because I had a bad fill. Almost got stopped, but immediately bought up after sweep of internals. Trailed super tightly, so didn't hit full TP, but 15 points secured. Okay, so what? You made like what, 8 grand today, Zeke? On one? I'm sure you're copy trading. Jossie, tell me you're copy trading, bro. You had to make like 40 bands today. You had to make 40 bands today. 2 accounts only? Okay. Hey, 16K? Pretty nice. Pretty nice, bro. 2 accounts? 2 accounts all you really need for a 20K month, bro. That was my first 20K a month. I did it with 2 accounts. Did it with 2 100K accounts at Top Step. You don't need 5, but you know, once you get to 5, then it's like shit. I got 3 25K payouts in a row. Took me 3 weeks to make someone's salary. YM shorts, typical YM open short. I noticed YM likes to trend after open and after retracing to 618. Moving average took with on the 1 minute with 3 minis. Took 2 off and left 1 running. Move stops aggressive, but YM is too trendy, so hit full TP. Up running 18.35 RR. Jesus Christ, bro. 300 points for... Damn, bro. This shit tough. I like the scale, and this bitch just kept fucking selling. No reason to get out. This shit tough, bro. That shit tough. Okay. Minus 520, MGC overnight, New York AM. We're doing this post. IDK with the other one now. Was that short at value area high in resistance, trying to fade the trend last time. I will fade my context, only bias to one side of the market, which is what my context is telling me my levels are playing out. It's my execution, my fucking need to take trades. No wonder I'm still unprofitable. Very mad at myself for taking this high-hanging fruit trade. That was not probable. Took a long, which I'm salty about. Low volume VWAP, like the trade, match my context and look good. I decided to adjust my risk and trail my stop to the candle body. A little bit, but stopped out by only a couple ticks. 5L streak right now. There's confirmation on Bookmap, but I waited for it and still got stopped. Didn't know if I trailed accordingly or not. Took longs on NASDAQ, which I liked, but immediately closed the trade at break even because I was already took 2 trades and was down 500. Okay. Yeah, IB will conflict with price action sometimes. You can still take it if the context is there. It's legit just me. My levels are playing out. My management of trades is just shit. Most of the time I overtrade pre-market. Yeah, okay. So this trade last night, this first short on GC plasma. I understand why you might take this, right? We're right at the value area high. This is on NQ. I need to go to GC. right, we're right at this value area high from, this previous Sunday open range. We're sitting right here. We're sitting right here. When we took this trade, is there rejection in here? When we're at this value area high, what do I want to see? When we're at this value area high, you need to see strong rejection, price stall out, or acceptance above. What condition did we have here? It's starting to accept above. Right, so we hopped in the short right at market open. So I think your zone's correct, but we got the context slightly off. On this trade, let's see, this MGC trade, I think this is an appropriate trade to take. This is the trade that I took. You just didn't re-enter on it. We switch over to NASDAQ. We got stopped on this. We could have re-entered once this started trending up. Once these candles flip, right? What's the reaction at VWAP? I got stopped on this too. I re-entered on it because I still like the idea. So when I saw it, I saw it flush down to VWAP. The next candle printing, I saw it start to print green, decently strong, and I was looking at the order flow, and it looked like buyers were coming in. So I hopped back in. I got around the same fill I did on my initial trade. I only went in with 5 micros. Should have gone in with 10. It's a little bit harder when you're on Topstep.TV. I didn't want to, go in with 10 and just be like, oh, I'm risking 800. I'm risking a lot of my balance. So yeah, I like this trade, Plasma. I think the framing's good on this one. That short last night, not so much. This long here. Don't look at 2 assets at once. I'm not sure on the long here. If I'm longing this at the POC, right, at this POC from a higher time frame, that's really solid. This is solid. We bounced here previously. Got this nice wick here previously. I think our execution is just off here. I'm assuming this is paper trading, but yeah. Who requested payouts today? I'm about to. I got a payout to request. MNQ, 2 shorts. First stopped. Second wing got stopped with that crazy wick. I was up like 30 points and then trailed. Then I entered again when I saw price reject from that price level many times, 0.5. Fib failed buying and tried it again. Also, price was rated in EMA on 15-minute. Was sketchy at first because I wanted to long that before, but ended up shorting. I scaled out at the wicks and took it off eventually because the wicks were just too sketchy. Yeah, I don't think I messed with the stops. It's pretty obvious to trail the stop when you're up 30 points and it looks nice to know. Yeah, if you're up 30 points and this is looking nice, trail the stop, yeah. There was just wicks. I would have considered taking it off or scaling out the first time, but instead got stopped and ended up paying TP after. Okay, this one, yeah, when this isn't telling me to adjust my stop yet in terms of if I'm thinking about price action, if I'm looking at this doesn't tell me to adjust my stop until this leg, right? This leg down. You can leave it here, but if you're up 30 points and it's going to fuck with your psych, you got a good entry on this. If you're up 30 points and it's going to fuck with your psych, then, take it off. Let me borrow a dollar, Baron. Nah. Where's the gold miners at? Call mine 6 to go long in Asia after we pull back to VWAP in 0.5. Close this one a little early on my TP as it was wicking my TP. After being super patient, the last thing I wanted was for it to reverse on me. I was happy to do this for a win of $50 less. Valid. Is that $50 worth the stress? Probably not. Is there any specific setups you look for on GC? I quit trading GC because NQ runs when it fits the daily / bias. Yeah, I'm doing trade review. I'll go through it in a sec. Second trade was a long in New York at 8:55. Should have given my TP a little more room on this one. as I found it quite common for 9:30 Eastern to manipulate pullback. Sometimes I got stopped on this one is too hesitant to re-enter. I only had a small position on this as I waited for more low volume. A little more volume before adding to my position. Overall, call mine's up 733, 734. Okay. So yeah, small loss on this. You only use 3 micros. I think that's valid, especially if it's something that you notice, where it might manipulate down and then come back up. If you want to use a smaller size when you're not sure, valid. Okay. So yeah, this first long, I think this is fine. This is fine. We probably should have had the stop on the wick. I took the same trade. Probably should have had the stop on the wick. I had it on the body, and then it stopped me out. I re-entered on it, went through that. This Asia trade, I really like this Asia trade. I think closing it when it's, edging your TP like that, you can either adjust stops up or take it off. Right? You got, 3-4 decisions you can make. Adjust stop, scale out, adjust TP, take the position off. So I think the decision you made here is, it's okay. If you want to just get out, you're 50 points from your TP, you're at 90% of the trade, take it off. Take it off. If you're worried about it reversing, just take it off. You don't need to have this big flashy trade. Right? I know Uranus was in here with fucking 18R, 13R, whatever it is. But yeah, if this works for you, keep doing it. The second trade, I'm cool with you using smaller size if you're not confident on this. Since we are using smaller size, we can expand our stop a little bit because this would have worked out. If we're using 3 micros, right, I can expand it even down to this low, and I'm only risking 250, something along those lines. So I think both these are valid. If we're using smaller size, maybe consider widening your stop, just let the trade play out. But if you don't like seeing a trade go really far against you, then keep your stop, keep doing what you were doing with your stops. Wait 40 minutes to get stopped. Bookmap shows strong sellers, but price stalled so long. There are enough sellers coming in. That's why I got stopped overall. Good idea, 0.5. Pivot volume ledge, buying, no move up. Target 0.2 extension because high probability. Yeah, I'm fine with. I'm cool with this trade, Adrian. I think it fits the system. It fits the setup. Nasdaq was just on some bullshit today. I know you got stopped on this. It never turned in profit, but I would take this trade. It fits the system. It worked. It broke the IB low, right at the level we like. This is where we previously rejected. There's a lot of good things going for this trade. It's just Nasdaq fucking sucks sometimes. Contacts, previous day range stat bullish. Today open was traded through in London. Looks like we're respecting daily and 4-hour FVGs. Prices respecting 1-hour FVG and low volume node. Price looked like it was holding value area low of the session and low volume node inside the 1-hour FVG. Value area low plus low volume node plus 1-hour FVG. First attempt was at area failed selling. Second attempt is the same but with sweep of 1-hour internal liquidity and heavy failed selling. On first attempt I saw CVD heading lower, but we weren't sweeping that 1-hour internal low / IB low. Second attempt, saw price sweep the 1-hour low. Saw a lot of failed selling, shown in a screenshot, plus SMT with ES. First trade has stop at IB low. Second trade has stop at the wick where we had a lot of failed selling. Target the high. Could wait for sweep of 1-hour. Avoid the first loss, could have extended TP, jump more aggressively, but I didn't want to get greedy. Feel like I did well in acknowledging that I was trading the retrace of the IB. I also feel like I did a good job aligning order flow confluences with my technical analysis and didn't let myself be biased because of IB. IB low sitting second is now nerfed. Okay. This is a riskier trade if you're taking this. I understand the thought process behind this though. Because it's either going to sweep that IB low or it's going to run back to the high. And then the second trade. I'm cool with this. Yeah, big expansion up. I'd probably adjust my stop up off that. Especially if this next candle prints green. I'd wait for this next candle. Yeah, once this one gets bought up, does it flip to green? Okay, wouldn't have trailed. Does this next one do it? Yep. Okay, now I trail up here. When I'm here, I trail my stop up to here, because this looks like if this is gonna go down and it's gonna sweep the eye below, you gotta get through all those aggressive buyers. Okay, good shit. And this is just pushing. TPing right where we rejected previously. Did you hold through this? This is good patience if you held through this all the way. Held it? Good shit. Nice. Yeah. I'm cool with that first trade. The second trade, good management. Identified, all this large selling at the lows. You have buyers start to step in. Your CVD is starting to turn back up. I like this trade, bro. I like it. Second trade in YM, short on 618, combined with the VWAP and PSC, not a single second of drawdown. Just aiming for the lows. Just stop loss to break even after first picture. Because I top ticked it and we closed below the lows on 5 minute. Adjusted again on second picture and I got stopped right after that. 25 micros. Okay. I think it's valid to secure some profit on here, especially after that banger fucking trade. Combine 6, took along on GC in New York on GC after we kept rejecting from value area high and upper band. I really think I might adjust my stop loss too soon. Small loss. Still 625. Okay, here. Right. If I'm longing this, we lost on this? How do we lose on this? Because I took this same trade. I took this exact same trade. I got in right here. You got in a little higher, but your stop was wider. I just don't see how we lose on this. Maybe we closed it early. Because this didn't break these lows. I want to know what happened here. But for our Piper trade, took some time off after blowing XFA after taking payout, tapped into bullish level 1 node, and NQ has been held bullish, so it took a long. Really proud of staying patient. Trailed stop loss when structure was created in the market. 5.7 RR banger. Looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. Nice. Held it all the way through. This is a great trade. 125 points. Very solid. Raw bullish was bias. Bias was bullish. Tapped in low volume, so I took a long. Target was IV high. With this, I passed phase 2 on Alpha Capital Challenge. Okay, also a nice trade. Bitcoin, the most I've seen is 100x. What's the sweet spot for micros on NQ? I'd say like 5 to 8, somewhere in there. Yeah, Adrian, I can. Okay, that's trade review. Someone was asking for GC stuff. Let me see. What was the question? Where's the question? Is there any setups you specifically look for on GC? I quote train GC because NQ runs when it fits the daily buy slash loss. Yeah, NQ or GC really respects volume profile. Like anything volume related, GC respects it. So I'm looking at volume profiles. I'm looking at VWAP. I'm looking at the upper bands of VWAP. I'm looking at fibs. There's some IB setups you can take as well. But yeah, expecting a pullback tonight. I'm expecting this to run up and sweep this New York high, pretty much off rip, and then go from there. Thoughts on Nike Air Max? Which Nike Air Max? Some of them are dope, some of them aren't. Are you talking about the 95s? Air Max Plus. Oh, those are gay, bro. I hate those ones. I do not like those. Yeah, why do you have ombre on your shoe? Like, why is your shoe ombre? Petition to get Baron on a dating show like Jubilee. Bro, my friends were trying to get me to go on Love Island. I was like, fuck no. Bro, you pull. I'm good, bro. I've seen Love Island. I've watched like maybe 2 episodes of it, and I'm like, these people are so like they're dumb as bricks, bro. They're all dumb as bricks, all of them. I'm good. I'm good off that. Okay. Anything else, guys? I'm about to request my payout. First payout in 3 months. On stream. No, it's not taking a payout's not really anything crazy. When it was the My Funded Futures payout, yeah, that was fucking crazy, bro. Don't forget the gym. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a rest day today. Just sauna, stretching, shit like that. Maybe a little core. How'd you run that up that high? I used 10 minis. The first day, built a nice little 20K buffer, and then I was just slamming 5 to 10 minis for every single trade. Um, JJ, let me check what time's that. Boom. Let me just look. Yeah, I'm good for that. I'm good with that. I'll see mad payouts soon. You know, the mentorship students heard some shit. They heard some delusional, crazy shit, but I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. Alright, I'll see y'all later. I'm locked in, bro. I'm locked in. Took me 3 months. Y'all about to see some crazy. You know anything about Anchored VWAP, G? Yeah. So this VWAP that I have, this is Anchored VWAP. It's just off 6 p.m. open. It's just the standard trading view one. If you just search up VWAP auto anchored, that's the one I use. It's in the technicals. And then I apply the band multiplier 1 with the VWAP upper band, lower band, with that. If you want to see more of that, I mean, I did upload this video. Eric uploaded this actually, and he fucked up the title. Look at this. This man can't even fucking spell. And he didn't give me a clickbaity title. I go through some stuff in this. This is like a 25-minute video on what I look at on GC. But yeah. Alright. I will see y'all later.